And only in Didim last year, 7,888 houses were sold. Of course, exchange rate helped a lot. Many European Turkish community living, Germany, Holland, France, England, they came and invested in Turkey. And also, of course, lots of foreign investors, they chose Turkey as their, second home and for investment. And I also want to give you a figure that total amount of foreign owned property, foreign ownership in Turkey, currently 281,278. This is the total number of properties owned by foreigners in Turkey. And last year it was the highest ever in Turkey since the law changed at year 2003. Since then, this is the highest number. Last year, 58,576 houses were sold.
Hi Han, it's good to have you back. How are you doing, mate?
Thank you, I'm fine. How are you, James?
I'm great, thank you, mate. We are doing this it's a little bit different, the reason why we're recording this today. It's off. Can we call this gentleman a fan of ours?
Yeah, Alex Sumbati. He's a passionate follower now, and he made comments and he's been watching all our videos. So he had some requests as well, same as other followers as well, actually. People wanted to know more about education, more about health, and what is here for retired people when they aged, and schools. And also, Alex especially, he wanted more podcasts about, real estate, about buying process especially. So we will touch to a little bit of buying process as well, and also I have some figures to share.
I like it. You come well prepared. I like that. A man that comes with his research. So with that in mind, mate, can we take a little look back at 2021? Yeah. I do know that November was the busiest month on record for overseas investors buying Turkish property. So if we can, tap into that and what that looks like, I dare say there's the crash of the Turkish lira, which played a part in that as well, which of course is unfortunate in many ways. And then also looking ahead at 2022. So where do you want us to start?
First, I would say in terms of real estate market, it was a very positive year 2021. Although we had a lockdown for a short while, that didn't really affect the market much. And we believe it will be even much better this coming year. In total last year in Turkey, all around the country, 1,491,856 houses were sold. This is the total number, which is a good number actually. And only in Didim last year, 7,888 houses were sold. Of course, exchange rate helped a lot. Many European Turkish community living, Germany, Holland, France, England, they came and invested in Turkey. And also, of course, lots of foreign investors, they chose Turkey as their, second home and for investment. And I also want to give you a figure that total amount of foreign owned property, foreign ownership in Turkey, currently 281,278. This is the total number of properties owned by foreigners in Turkey. And Last year, it was the highest ever in Turkey since the law changed at year 2003. Since then, this is the highest number. Last year, 58,576 houses were sold. And we believe this figure will be even higher next year because of the COVID. We believe it's about to come to an end or under control. So the Minister of Tourism announced the day on the national TV that we are expecting 2.5 British tourists.
2.5
million British tourists.
That's only British tourists.
That's only British tourists. As you know, Didim, tourism started in Didim with the British tourists. I remember, the company's inspiration, Summit, they were the first companies bringing tourists to Didim. Since then, it's dominated by the British tourists. Of course, we have other nationalities. All nationalities are welcome, so we don't have any problem with any nationality. But this town is mainly preferred by British tourists. And we believe it will be a hot summer for business and also in terms of weather.
The economy and the local businesses certainly need it after the last year or even two. So
of course,
fingers crossed that really does happen. From your experience, Ian, looking at 2021, what nationalities were you experiencing and dealing with, and your contacts around you in terms of buying property?
As I stated before, European, Turkish, they were the first, they were the actually majority of the people who were buying in Turkey. And then, British, I would say. And I have actually customers from Kazakhstan, Canada, Russia, Norway, for example, one of the...
And Iran as well?
Iran, yes, we have people, coming and buying from Iran as well. They are actually on the top of the list, Iranian investors.
And, am I right in thinking, because we're always in talks, you and I, and I'm always curious of what's going on in the area in a variety of ways. And do your Iranian customers that come over, are they more looking to buy property or invest in land and bigger projects, or is there a mix of the two?
For them, mainly is buying a second home.
Gotcha.
Buying a second home. In Istanbul, in Izmir, they actually buy property to get Turkish citizenship.
And here's where my fact may or may not be right, or we'll see. Is it $250,000? Yeah, if you invest
$250,000, buy a property and keep it for 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah, keep it for 3 years. Then you are entitled to get the Turkish passport. You get your passport, maximum in 60 days after you purchase your property. Yeah, you make your application and you get your passport in 60 days. But you have to keep the property under your name for 3 years. Otherwise, you lose that privilege.
Oh, so you don't have to have the property for 3 years and then you can get your passport. You get your passport anyway, but on...
Yes.
That's an interesting way.
And also your family, your children, if you are Iranian or another nationality, if you purchase property for the purpose of Turkish passport, your children under 18 and your wife, they benefit as well.
Wow. That I didn't know to that extent. That's very interesting. Yeah. And I know we get emails and comments from around the world. We've had some from Italy, Australia, America, Canada, which is great. I mean, the whole reason of doing this is to offer value in a variety of ways, whether, as you said, healthcare, about the culture, about the climate, about getting residency, whatever that looks like. And one of the questions that keeps cropping up is, like, how long is the process of kind of, because we've had guests on the podcast that have come out here on holiday and within 4 days they've made a commitment to move here and buy here, and then that's decision made. once somebody makes that decision and has, say, seen an apartment, a duplex, a villa, and they want to buy that, what is that process? Because in the UK, you can be, 3 to 6 months, right,
Exactly.
as a timeline. What does that look like here?
In Turkey, the system is a lot different. In the UK, especially, is a process which is only dealt by the solicitors, buyer and seller solicitors. They handle the whole process. But in Turkey, you don't really need a solicitor's involvement because it's very straightforward. Very straightforward. For example, you are a potential buyer and you like the property. You've done all that. You've done the viewing and you ask your questions and you are sure and you want to go ahead to the next step, which is the buying process. Okay, so first the documents you need is the passport copy of the buyer and the seller's ID details, copy of the title deed that you are buying, the DASK insurance, which is a compulsory insurance issued by the insurance companies, which protects the building in the event of any earthquake. It is compulsory. And also the valuation report. This is new in Turkey. It's been 2 years. Before you buy a property, any foreign investor, before they buy a property, they must get a valuation report. This is to protect whether they are paying the right price, and if there is any problem related to the title deed or not, they can see all that in that report. So these are the documents you need. So the process is the seller and the buyer, when they agree, they make the application. We have an online platform. We call it Web Tapu, Web Title Deed. And you have all your documents. So in Turkey, we also have all the Turkish citizens and also the expats who live in Turkey, who has a residency permit, have got right to access this e-state. So all our private informations in that system, e-state. So the seller enter into his e-state and make the application. We have Web Tapu system in the e-state, and you submit all your documents through WebState scan and submit all your documents, and system automatically sends you a message, your application been received by the land registry, and also the seller automatically appoints a valuation expert from the online system, and it takes about 2 days for the valuation report.
And is that valuations? I know in other countries, sometimes that evaluation is done remotely and digitally. Is that the case here, or does somebody actually visit the property itself?
They come and visit the property. They go to the council. They go to the land registry, and they check if there is like planning permission, the status of the property, whether it is timeshare, whether it is a freehold property, whether it is off plan, whether it is sometimes you see the project, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom apartments, but you don't have freehold title deed, but you have a land share in that project. So all this can easily be checked with that valuation report. It is done again online. When the expert finishes his report, he sends the valuation report online into the system of land registry, so the officer at the land registry can see the report. But through your agent, you should always ask the hard copy of the report and read the report before you go to land registry and sign the title deed. Okay, so when the valuation report is completed and sent to the land registry, you receive a message from the land registry to the mobile phone that you entered into the system. The sellers and the buyers' phone numbers are also entered into the system, you receive a notification saying that please pay your tax. Yeah, and you pay the taxes online. Any bank that you use, you go to online banking and pay the taxes. And again, the system notifies the officer that the taxes are paid. Then next step, you receive another text message from the land registry. Please come at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock for your appointment. So the seller and the buyer, they go together and they sign and they exchange the ownership. All the properties in Turkey is freehold. We don't have, leasehold properties, and you become the owner of the property maximum in 2 or 3 days, and it is really safe.
That's a little bit different than England and the UK.
Yeah, it is safe. I believe Turkey as a country is one of the fastest and also safest country at the moment in Europe, while we are delivering the title deeds.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow. So you hear of horror stories from 15 years ago when the systems weren't in place and the processes weren't as clear.
There was a loophole, and some builders, unfortunately, sorry to say, they abused that loophole. Before, you had to apply to get permission from the army, and if the place you are about to purchase in the army zone, as a foreign citizen, you are not allowed to buy. So for this, in the past, we had to make application to the army and wait, a couple of months, 3 months, or sometimes 6 months. And in that time, some builders, they sold the property again, to another investor. And as a translator, in the court, I experienced all this as well in the past. But nowadays, that's not happening at all.
Yeah,
that's not happening at all.
A lot of progress at play. So, would I be right in assuming that the most exciting thing for both of us this year being in this area is the potential of a proper season, which brings more people over here, which benefits everybody in the whole area, and more importantly, the economy?
Exactly. All my life, I've been in, tourism, and I have lots of, British friends, Norwegian friends, Swedish, Iranian, Russian, now new friends from Kazakhstan, Aybek, he joined our family. And so we are happy to welcome the tourists, and also investors who choose to live in our town. And I was so excited, when Minister of Tourism said 2.5 million British tourists will come to Turkey this year. And I don't know how many other nationalities will come and visit our town. They're all welcome, and that will be really good for the town as well.
Watch this space. Well, thanks, Ayhan, and again,
thank you.
Thanks again to our listeners, our viewers. This episode is purely off the back of questions that we get from around the globe. Please comment, like, and share to improve the algorithms. The algorithms mean that it reaches more people. The more people that listen and watch and see and experience what we do here has more potential of bringing people to the area and helping strengthen the economy, which it is struggling at the moment. So, please comment, like, and share, and support our channel. Cheers, Ayhan.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much. Thanks.